Welcome back to Teach English Now. In Modules 1 and 2, we examined reading. In Modules 3 and 4, we discussed writing. Now we're going to address a topic that delights some educators and causes dread in others, even experienced educators. That's right, it's time to talk about grammar. In particular, we are going to focus on how to incorporate grammar into a reading and writing lesson, rather than grammar just on its own. Certainly, there are many schools and courses that will teach grammar by itself, but our intent is to demonstrate how it can be important to integrate into a reading and writing class. There are so many big questions about how to integrate grammar. Should I teach grammar structures in a certain order? What if I have to follow a certain curriculum or textbook sequence? Why won't my students use the grammar form I taught them last year, last week, or even yesterday? How am I supposed to incorporate grammar into my lesson plans? And hey, let's just back up a minute. Why do I even have to teach grammar? Won't my students just pick it up through using the language naturally? Actually, that last question is a great one, because for a couple decades, grammar was kind of ignored in language teaching, particularly in the communicative approach to language teaching that you learned about back in our first specialization. Then research by Meryl Swain showed that language learners who were immersed in communicative language classes at schools still continued to make grammar errors. While the language learners were learning content in the second language, they simply weren't acquiring certain grammatical features. And teachers throughout the 1980s who had learned all kinds of techniques to make language communicative and come alive began to, focus away from grammar to the point that they were unable to teach it. As one colleague of mine once said, "I know how to teach the content, but I just don't know what to do about their grammar." So, communicative teachers. Now what? Well, most experts believe that in order for students to use grammar forms accurately, students must be encouraged within the communicative classroom to notice and focus on grammar, even when immersed in a communicative context. All right, are you ready for one more story? I know I am. Something feels wrong, though. Something feels like it needs to be here. I don't know. Ooh, thank you, Elizabeth. Justin, that helps. But maybe if I could just call someone, then I could get some ideas. Nah, I think I'd rather maybe take some notes. Yeah, that should help. What should we do this time? Well, as you probably guessed, I'm about to get really sleepy. But where will our dreamscape take us this time? There are so many fables and stories that might teach us about grammar. Incorporating grammar, noticing, paying attention to form. Oh, grammar, the thorn in my side, the pebble in my shoe.